Pastor Tim McGraw told me that the congregants were encouraged to speak in tongues. He said he never saw Sarah Palin speak in tongues, but this is something that he said is done in private, so there's no way of knowing, he said, if she has done that. It's a very private matter. They also believe in the end times, that there will be this dramatic upheaval in the world, signaling the second coming of Jesus. They believe in faith healing, that doctors may not be the answer in terms of healing the sick. And so we talked a little bit about how some of these beliefs and the teachings there at this church may contribute to Sarah Palin's beliefs and even how they may shape her policy. And Pastor McGraw says really that everybody has a view of life, that they live by a code that they think is real. And he says that Sarah Palin does too, since her view of the world includes this a God that loves us and is accessed by us. He says it would be very logical for her to frame some of her policy making and some of her policy decisions for the world with that possibility in it.
That is really interesting, and we were just looking at some video on YouTube of Palin's speech at her Pentecostal church where she talks about Iraq and praying for a pipeline. Was he able to add any insight to that as well?
Yeah, that video has been making its way around the internet, and it's really interesting because this was during a speech that she gave at the church back in June, just a couple of months before she joined the Republican ticket. And in speaking about Iraq, she suggested that soldiers are there on a mission to God. She said that she told the group that it was a task of God that the soldiers are there. And in the pipeline case, she was saying that she was encouraging the students there to pray for this $30 billion pipeline, that it would be built, so that this is one of her missions here in Alaska. I'm not sure if you have any sound from that.
We do have it. I was going to interrupt you just a second.
Let's listen into exactly what she said.
God's will has to be done in unifying people and companies to get that gas line built. So pray for that. Pray for our military men and women who are striving to do what is right also for this country, that our leaders, our national leaders, are sending them out on a task that is from God. That's what we have to make sure that we're praying for, that there is a plan and that plan is God's plan.
So there you have it, some more sound from Sarah Palin on YouTube as she was giving a speech there at her church. Randy Kay joins us by phone from Alaska. She's been looking into this. In fact, Randy, you have the first television interview with her former pastor. And something that I find very interesting, especially when you talk to her former pastor, is that we haven't heard much about this. We haven't heard McCain really touting Palin, talking about her Pentecostal roots.
No, and she did leave this church, this Pentecostal church, about 6 years ago. And certainly since she hit the national stage, she has not talked at all about her Pentecostal roots, and the campaign isn't talking about it at all. All they'll say is that she has very deep religious convictions. So they don't want to address this at all. And I talked with Pastor McGraw about this from the Assembly of God, the Pentecostal church, and he said that he thinks there may be issues of beliefs that could be misunderstood or played upon by people that don't know. He doesn't think that there is a stigma attached to Pentecostalism, but he said they just happen to believe in the presence of God or Spirit, and God is available in the now. But he says he doesn't think everybody understands it, and that could be one reason why the campaign doesn't want to touch it, and certainly Sarah Palin isn't talking about it.
And so we're going to see more of this interview. Again, it's the only television interview with Pastor Tim McGraw tonight. Randy?
That would be tonight at 8 and 10 o'clock Eastern, and there's much more that he has said about counseling her and her deep religious beliefs that I think you'll find really, really interesting.
I'll be watching for sure. Randy Kay joining us live, and I'll make sure viewers watch to get some additional information about Sarah Palin and her background.